Sometimes does. Okay, guys, we will start. Just take a few breaths up with your inhale. Let me move my cords. I'm so glad to see you. Welcome. Happy Thursday. Hello. Just use this as a chance to wake that body up. Hello. And up. And inhale. And exhale. And good job. All right, people are coming in, and you're letting, while you're doing this, you're letting your breath get a little fuller. You're letting your knees track with your second toe. Your heels are heavy. Your toes are light. Now we are going to take a set of 10 squats, wide squats. Heels are heavy. Good. And the backup plan, let's just say you're dealing with something with your knees and they don't like to flex. You decrease the range of motion. That's a modification. Or another thing you can do is that you do calf raises instead. There you go. All right, let's do 10. You got it. Heel heavy. 9, 8, 7. Beautiful. 6. You want to feel your inner thighs. You want to feel your hips. You got it. Your shoulder blades are warming up. Shoulder blades are moving up and down the spine like healthy scapula do. 2. And then 1. Now stay here if you would like to add on halfway up and down. So it's going to be 10 halfway up and down. 3, 4, you got it. 5, sitting in a low chair. 6, 7, 8, 9, come back up, and we'll do one set of squats. I'm going to turn it to my side so you can see the hips go way back. Make sure you're not doing this. You're not going to drive the knees forward. You're going to sit way back. There's an image that you're someone's holding a seat for you behind you, and then they're pulling it away. So you want to follow that seat. Your heels are so heavy that you can lift your toes. So right now, I'm lifting up my toes just to make sure that I'm not here. That's going to help the knees. And back to that little knee statement we said earlier, even if you do have discomfort, you don't want to ever avoid flexion altogether. Your knees are supposed to hinge. So you want to find, even if it's a littler range of motion, you want to find a healthy place for your knees to flex. Knees track with the second toe, and middle hip is general rule of thumb to keep those knees healthy. 4, 3, in other words, don't let the knees collapse. 2, and now if you would like to add on the halfway up and down. 10, 9, heels heavy. 8, 7, 6, like you're going to stand up but you change your mind. 5, 4, ooh, I like it. 3, looks good, Jonathan. 2, looks good. And then stand back up. Now this is calves, so go up with your heels and up. Now when you go up for healthy, this is also great exercise for the knees and for the blood flow. So you're going to, for circulation, you're going to lift your heels so that each toe head, each metatarsal head has equal weight. You want to make sure you're not biasing the pinky toe and letting the ankles roll out. Out. So you're going up. And if anything, the first, second toe head has more weight than the others. You can also have an image that there's a ball between your heels and you're holding onto that ball. You can't let the ankles roll out like like a sprain. And 2. And 1. Now leave your left foot down, take your right leg, and we'll go up and then back. Now your challenge is to not let the foot touch, to keep that right foot off the floor. Your body's going to try to lean back, but you're going to engage your core so you don't. 6, add a point and a flex. 7, add a higher lift as you get comfortable with that. 8, your left glute is firm. 9, and 10, let your foot come down. Let's do the other side. Point and flex. Point and flex. Up and down. You're doing great. 4, this glute's strong. 5, your challenge is to point and flex every time. 6, keep that foot off the floor. 7, keep the body upright. 8, 9, and then 10. And then we're going to cross the midline. Let this foot go across the midline. Whoops, as I showed, I stumble, and the arms can go up. Your challenge is to do 10 inner thigh lifts. Imagine you're at the ballet bar. You're going to have an image of strong and graceful, strong and calm. You might try to lift higher. If you fall, your body will figure out how to correct. So that wobble is a good thing. That's how we learn. 9, 10. Other side, that foot comes down. The inhale and exhale. So you're just breathing continuously. Your body is tall and not leaning back. Lift higher if you can. 5, 6, 7, 8. You're doing great. 9, and then 10. Now we're going to add a little pattern called tick-tock. So you're going to have a seat and then open up side leg abduction. I like to imagine I'm in a bagel slot, a healthy bagel slot though. And then sit back or open. So you have a squat and then open. Heel heavy squat, so your booty goes way back. And adding on, what we know about preventing cognitive decline is the brain does not get as much blood flow as the other organs. So when you do exercise and you add patterns and memory and coordination, that brain is getting exercised. We're reducing the probability of cognitive decline. So heel heavy, point, heel heavy, add a point, heel heavy, add a point. Let's do 4 more. And 4. And heels. You're doing great. 3. And 2. And 1. Now on this next one, you can either use your wall, or if you have a foam roller that's tall, you can use it. I want you to wrap one foot behind the other. Go up and down. So basically I'm doing a single calf raise. This foot's just out of the way. Now when you do that, the asymmetrical work, the unilateral work, helps you recognize any imbalances in the body and helps you get them more honest or truth them up. 6, so I'm just turning. 7, because I want you to see I'm trying to go slow and controlled. 8, all the toes have equal weight. 9, 10. Now wrap the other foot, so we're switching sides, and go up. And just notice, is one side a little different than the other? Does one side have a little different tracking pattern? You want each of your toe heads to have equal weight. 6, you want to make sure you're not throwing your hips forward on this. As a calf raise, you want to go up and down. 8, 9, and then 10. Now very similar with that squat, the backup plan is to do your normal squat. See how far my booty's going back? If you would like to try though, lift up a foot. I'm going to turn so you can see me. Lift up a foot. You're going to do a squat with one leg. Go to your comfortable place. Your booty goes back. As a reminder, you do not want to push your knee forward. You want your booty to go back. 3, your hips are level. 4, so notice you're not kicking a hip out like you're holding a child on your side. 5, this is going to reveal any imbalances. Your backup plan could be to do calf raises if this just is not serving you. 9. Now notice, just observe, a friendly witness to the self. How does that feel? Try your other foot. It is okay if you notice one leg is stronger or coordinated in active, and often that leg is usually stronger in passive balance. So you're just noticing it. Heel heavy. 5, 6, 7, weight way back. Good. 8, 9, and 10. That is good. Now we're going to head down, but keep your roller handy. If you have a drink and you want a drink now, grab that. We're going to do some bridging, which is the other side of those legs on the roller, if you have it. If you don't have a roller, just use the floor. It's all fine. Feet on top. of the roller. Feet on top of the roller. Inhale. Prepare, exhale, curl up. Now, as you do this, the closer your heels are to your fanny, the more glutes you should feel. Gluteal amnesia is a phenomenon happening now with a lot of seated postures, or when you sit at your desk or you sit at the computer. So you're going to want to feel those glutes fire. This is going to help the back. Now, as you do this, also roll one vertebra at a time. If you have a herniated disc, then your modification is to just come up like a plank, a flat piece of wood. But if you do not, you're going to roll up one vertebra at a time. Stay up at the top, and let's add 2-inch pulses. So it's 10, 9. Make sure you're not going so high that your back gets more lordotic or arched. You want to feel your glutes and hams. And now let your knees touch, but keep your feet the same. So act like you have a penny between your knees and press 10 little pulses. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, breathing, 8, 9. Now open your knees wider than your hips and do 10 little lifts. This is external rotation. You're going to work all those different glute fibers. Let your knees go back in line with your heels. Lower your spine. Take your hands to your feet. 5, 4, 3, 2, inhale, and then exhale. Lengthen those knees out. Your roller is about underneath your calf ankle. Now you're going to lift your hips and lower. This is going to build the hamstrings and glutes. Lift up, a little more hands. 3, a little bit of the back too, but nothing should hurt. 4, really make sure your knees are soft. 5, and not jamming backwards. 6, 7, 8, breathing. 9, stay up and hold. 10, 9, 8, good, Michelle. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lower your tush. Lift up one leg, and the option is to either do a hamstring stretch or lift up your shoulder blades, hold onto your foot with one hand, take your other hand on your other leg, and the left leg's off the floor. So you can either do a passive hamstring stretch, resting your head on the floor, or do an ab crunch with this hamstring stretch and the other leg off the floor. Your gaze is at the toes that are above the floor. So that's going to be an opportunity to work your abs. 5, 4, 3, 2, lower your head for a moment, take your other hand and either do a hamstring stretch passive, or tuck your chin, roll your shoulder blades off the mat, hold onto your foot, right hand on the thigh, and now you have a hamstring stretch. You have an abdominal crunch. Your right leg is strong off the floor. 10, 9, good. 8, lift up your shoulders a little higher, Michelle, and that'll be less strain on your neck. Yep. 5, good. Yep, you got it. I can see that. 4, you almost have to imagine there's a pomegranate underneath your chin as well. 3, but if your neck's tired, usually it's from the abs not lifting up quite enough. And then rest. Hands to your feet. You've got some hamstring stretching. 5, 4, 3, 2, inhale. And exhale, both feet back on your roller. Now, you can do the normal bridging that we did before, or you could lift your right leg, point your toes of that right leg, and lift up and down 10 times. Single hamstring. Make sure your pelvis is level and not dropping. Same leg, pull your toes back, 10 more. Breathing, jaw is soft. And the other side, right foot down, lift up your left leg. You can do a set of flexed for 10. Pelvis level. Point your toes, 10. Your left foot comes down. You're going to lower your spine down. Take your hands
to your inner feet or ankles and let the knees be a little wider than your body. This is a bound angle. Inner thigh stretch. You could even use your elbows to kind of pry your knees open, your thighs open. 5. And then let your feet be on an imaginary table. In fact, sometimes we call this tabletop position. Let your modification for this abdominal be to extend one knee and then the other. You're going to keep your ribs down. That's your base move modification. And if you would like to add on, rotate your shoulders off the mat towards the knee that's closer and one knee extends. We're going to let our belly pull in. In fact, you can look at it as you transition. It should pull in. Now flex your feet. And this is a bicycle in yoga, yogic bicycle, or crisscross in Pilates. If you want it harder, your legs are only going to come into 90 degrees and they won't come into your belly. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, recover. The hands can go to your shins and you can just rock a little right and left. We're going to add on, lift up both thighs. Now they're both in a bit of a hamstring stretch here already. Now you can take a small set of scissors here with the ribs down. That's going to feel like abdominals in a modified position for the neck. If you would like to add on, lift up your shoulder blades and then stretch those legs out. Inhale, inhale, and then exhale, exchange. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exchange. You're going to feel a hamstring stretch each time. Belly pulls in. Ribs connect to the mat. Flex your feet. 10, you got it. 9, yep, pull one leg in. 8, 7, good. 6, 5, 4, breathing, belly is pulling in. 2, recover with your head on the mat, hands to your shins for a moment. I'm going to always be showing the modification and then the progressions. This is called double leg stretch. With your head down for the modification, you're going to reach the arms up and the legs up and then hug your hands to your shins, cannonball. Reach everything up and then hug. A little harder, legs away from you, arms away from you, and then hug. Ribs down. Now the hardest, or the one that's the classic abdominal, lift up your shoulder blades. Stay up in your shoulder blades. Don't come down on this one. Stretch out your arms, stretch out your legs. Stretching with an inhale, with your levers really long, is harder on your abs to take an inhale. So you want to take the inhale, it's called a sniffing inhale, to your side ribs. Keep your belly pulling in. Don't take a diaphragmatic inhale here. You need those abs. You can see them pulling in. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Rock a little bit, let everything go. All right. Legs up. And now this is the modification. Lower them a little bit as a unit and bring them back to vertical. Point, flex down, point up. Now that's your base move. Ribs are down. And to add on, hands behind your head, lift up your shoulder blades and then do those leg lowers. You can flex down, point, flex, point. Now, if you'd like to add on a challenge at the bottom, you're going to beat your feet cross together and then come up. You're going to lower, beat your feet 1, 2, and then come up. Beat your feet right, left, come up. Cross the feet, beat, come up. Cross the feet, beat, come up. One more, and then rest. Your hands into your shins, rock a little bit. Ooh. Take a full body stretch, stretch out your legs, and we're going to try one more here. And the modification is feet on the mat, and you can lift up your abs in a normal crunch. That's your modification. You can also take your arms overhead and on your exhale, peel up until you're in a little ball seated. So you see how I moved my knees in? And then stretch back out. Exhale. 2. And down. And 3. And 4. And 5. Now, the next one is lie down, bend your knees, and then you're gonna come up like you did before, but stretch out your legs. Exhale.
The roll up.
Good, and then bend your knees. Exhale, roll up. 2, 3, 4, and then stay up on this next one. And we'll grab a sip and then meet back here.
So we try to drink about 8 to 12 ounces during the class. And then let's change it up. The foam roller can be on the other side now of your mat. Your forearms are also on your mat. Of course you can do these on your hands. I just show the forearms a lot to save the wrist, but we do other things with the wrist so that they get work too. Now you can be toes on the floor in a plank, or you can be shins on your foam roller. So I'm going to give us a moment to set up. Your elbows are underneath your shoulders so that your scapula are abducted, wide, flat. Your head's going to try to drop to the floor. You're going to keep the ear in line with the shoulder. Pull the belly up so that your lower back doesn't get any more lordotic. Holding. There is an isometric contraction that you can do here. You won't see any difference in the bones, but you're going to feel your forearms are going towards your knees or your feet, and your feet are going towards your forearms. It's going to add about 20% more contraction just by asymmetrically squeezing the upper body towards the lower body. Inhale, rest any way you want to. I'll show this. And now we're going to do an extra. So come on back when you're ready, elbows on the floor, toes towards each other, because that'll roll out your muscles, not your bones. Toes towards each other. Now you can either do a plank like you were on the floor, or bend the knees underneath you. That's an inchworm. And then straighten your legs to plank. Bend your knees underneath you and then straighten. Bend. With that foam roller, it's a little harder than a traditional plank, isn't it? All right, 4 inchworms. 3, you're rounding your spine. 2, now recover any way you want to. I'm going to show a child pose recovery this time. Your shins can stay up on the foam roller. You get a decompression in the spine. Now we're going to go back to the forearm plank. This time, you're going to take your knees to the left, plank, knees to the right. It's an inchworm, but it's with an oblique variation. Long legs, bend the knees in, and then straighten them to plank. Bend the knees to the other side and straighten to plank. Bend the knees to the left, bend the knees to the right. Yes, very good. Nice. You got it. And pull in. You should feel your abdominals, your shoulder blade stabilizers, shoulders. 1 more each side. And then recover. I'm going to take the child pose recovery. And this next plank is going to be lifting your hips in towards the sky like a V, like an upside down V. It's like a dolphin. So arms down, forearms down, legs long but toe in towards each other. The foam roller's kind of closer to your knee side of your shin than your toes. That way you have room to lift up your hips, long knees. Lift up your hips, long knees. Exhale. Exhale. 5, lift your hips. Good. 6. If you want more intensity, pause at the top. 7, slow it down. 8, 9, 10. Take a moment. Woo! Okay, if you need a sip, grab it. We're going to do some swans. We're not done with abs, but I do want to give us a little break. Those are hard, especially if you did them on Tuesday with me with the foam roller class, or the sculpt class. Swan. Belly down. The foam rolling does move the mat a little, so making the adjustments. Belly down. Hands wide on the foam roller. pinky side down. Now you can do these on the floor. Everything I've said that you can do on the foam roller, you can do on the floor as well. And yeah, there you go. Now lengthen your elbows and go up. That's it. And down. And up. Yep. Let your elbows point more towards the floor as opposed to up or to the sidewalls, right? So look at how that changes my humerus. Because my goal in most of these exercises is external rotation. That's where the humerus likes to fit in the glenoid fossa with alignment, for alignment. Up. So I'm going up, I'm keeping the chest open. I'm feeling the upper back get extended, which is what we all need to prevent that rounded upper back thing that you see people get without doing any exercise for their upper back. Not us. We're going to keep getting taller and more upright, because most things in our life are forward. Eyes are forward. Everything you think about, your sports are forward, your driving, your work. So that's why it's critical to go after thoracic extension. Now go up and hold it. So it's going to be a 10 count here. Let your fascia know this is normal for you. Your upper back feels good in extension. Your belly pulls up. Neck is soft. Inhale. Lower down. We're going to do 2 more sets of 10. This is how we build endurance here, but if you're tired, take a break. Otherwise, 2 more sets of 10. Breathe into the upper back. Good. There's energy in your legs too. 5, 4, neck is soft. 3, good. 2, I like it. Lower, and you can actually lengthen your elbows a little bit more usually, so come up. Make sure they're not kind of bent here. You're long in the elbow. Belly pulls up like you have a piece of ice underneath your abs. Or, it's hard, isn't it? 3, 2, you got it. Take another inhale. Now we're going to add on a little variation. So if you'd like, come up. Now your right arm's going to push really strong and keep you upright as you touch your left. Good, Cheryl. Now, yep, you're going to switch arms at your own pace. Stay up. Try not to shift your torso to get your arm to your leg. So you're going to just stay upright without shifting wildly left or right with the torso. 4, 3, 2. Now both hands on the foam roller and lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, relax. Child pose, press your hips back. Good. Now on this next one you can do a plank, or I'd like to introduce a plyometric move. It's nice to keep these plyometrics in our system. Fast twitch muscle fibers too, because those will get atrophied without intervention. They go quicker than slow twitch. So what you want to do is bend your elbows, and I know it seems easy because we're in a square, and lift up. Now when you land, it's like you're catching a football. You have soft hands and then up. Or like you're a mountain lion and you're landing with that kind of springy fascia feel. So you're not glass hands, you're soft fluid hands. Or like maybe you could think of an ocean wave. Or if you've ever held one end of a big rope and someone's at the other end and you whip it and it kind of makes an S, that's what you're doing with your body, your hands. Now when you go down, it's critical that your shoulder blades stay down the back. You're not collapsing your shoulders forward. Elbows are in tight. And you can also do these in a more classic modified push-up position with the knees more behind you. I'm going to keep us here. I'd rather us do more safely, just to make sure we have the shoulder blades down the back. They are not going forward. And up. We'll do 4 more. And up. 3 more. Make sure the shoulder blades are down the back. If NEQ is the most important, that one is. 2. And your head is not pulling forward. And 1. Now while you're here, we'll just take a little interlaced finger position and then roll your hands and go the other way. Nice, just to sort of stretch them out. Perfect. And then we're going to take the Foam roller on the side, good job. Triceps was what we just worked on that, but some just plyometrics. We'll be adding some plyometrics with the legs sometimes when I think about it, but as we mix things up. But take your ankles here. I'll be posting some plyometrics on the social media this week. So come on up. Now this is a plank. At first we're going to establish stability, meaning we are going to make sure our cues are good while we're still. Your elbows underneath your shoulder. The shoulder's down the back, so make sure this shoulder doesn't poke forward. Arm is up. The modification would be you're on your hip or your knees, or that you're on your feet but you're not on the roller. Hold, head is against an imaginary wall, not hanging down. Good. 2. Now lower your hip, and then let's do the other side. So you notice I didn't collapse in my arms. I'm careful to lower my hips. Shoulders are precious. We're going to treat them well. Ankles, elbow is underneath the shoulder. Shoulder is down the back, meaning not poked forward. And then go up and establish stability before mobility, meaning make sure we're correct in our still. Lift your hips a tiny bit, Rick. See if that feels, yep, good. 5, 4, good. 3, 2, head back a little, Catherine, inhale. That's it, good, that should feel better. And then lower your hip with care. Nice job. And then take it to the other side. Elbow underneath your shoulder. You guys are doing great. So we're getting all the planes, working in all the planes. Go up. Now, pause. If you would like to stay here, you can. If you would like to add on, have that arm thread the needle and then open back up. Now, on the foam roller, it's a slightly unstable surface, which means your body's figuring out how to stabilize. The most important thing is to keep your bottom shoulder down the back. Don't let it kick forward. Strong. So you notice I'm doing these slow and controlled. 5, leave the hip up. It's going to try to sag because gravity's pulling us down. 6, let's do 2 more for 8. 7, bottom oblique, feeling it. 8, control, lower. So the reason I'm doing it slow too is because we're building endurance and it's all a way to keep it safe. So see if you can keep it slow, even though I know we're all high achievers and we want it done yesterday. All right, we're gonna inhale and exhale. Inhale. So you feel how your obliques are firing, if not, put your hand on them. They're working. Breathing. Good, Betty. 5. Good. 6. Lift your hip just a tiny bit, Karen. Just a little bit. 7. Got it. All right, lower the fanny. I'm going to show you a couple things that you could do. If you want to avoid your wrist, you can just roll your wrist out and help them with flexibility and mobility and synovial fluid. And you can do both. You can have it all. You can put your ankles on top of the foam roller, fingertips behind you, lift up. Although I'll say some people have a different way they want their hands. That is just fine. I want you to be comfortably challenged. Soften the knees. You're really making sure they don't lock backwards. 10, 9. This is a great one for posture. 8, 7, 6, 5. Hips lift. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then together, we'll take a hand together, wrist roll. And we'll take one hand and pull the fingers down. This is a stretch. And then one hand and pull the fingers down, stretch. Good, and you can either keep doing that stretch or do another set of reverse plank Purvottanasana. Soften the knees, lift up. Now if you want even more, lift up a leg and then the other. Lift up a leg and then the other. Give yourself strong energy right now. I'm strong and calm, strong and flexible. So if you notice your mind sort of feel discouraged, see if you can shift that quickly and go to a better feeling thought. Both heels are down, lift your hips, inhale, exhale. Now we're gonna stretch the hand forward, pull your fingertips down. Good. Shoulder blade is down the back. And then the other hand goes forward, pull those fingers down. You're practicing posture too here if you can, lifting up. Nice job. Inhale. And then exhale. We're gonna go back down to our forearm planks. If you need to sit before we go down, just because it's a convenient place, do. And then you're gonna put the foam roller on one side of your mat and your arms on the other. So grab a sip though if you need. Cheers. And to a good healthy day, start to our day. Forearms are down on the mat, and we're gonna do a hip lift on the diagonal. So it's kind of like obliques, but it is obliques. And it's kind of like what we did earlier. You're gonna be elbows down. Now you're gonna lift your hips, but towards the left upper corner, and then lower to plank. Now lift your hips upper right corner. Your knees are gonna stay long. Keep going, I'm just talking the cues. Up, your knees are gonna stay long. Exhale, up, slow it down for more pain, challenge, and up, and 5, yes, and 4, and you have to readjust every now and then, that's fine. 3, 2, 1, plank, and then recover. We're gonna do a little forward and back now. It's gonna be amazing. Your abs are gonna love it. Come on back down to forearms. Take your legs out long. Now just go forward about 2-3 inches and back. Toes are towards each other, so you're internally rotated. You're rolling out your shin, not your shin bone, your shin muscles, your tibialis anterior. Back and forth. The key here is your low abs could drop because gravity's pulling them down. So you want to pull your pubic bone towards your belly button. 4, 3, 2, recover. Relax. And inside plank. Let your elbow down. The hand that's not on the floor helping you is going to be on your thigh. You're going to go up into plank. Remember, you can do these on the floor if you don't want the roller anymore. Now lift your hips and your arm. Now really, bottom arm is your more important cue. You notice I'm going slow. We're changing up the speeds, so the muscles have to adapt to different variables. 5, don't be fooled, harder, slower is harder. 6, 7, hold it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your hip with care. Let's go to the other side. That was great. As promised, that was amazing. Let's go to the other side. Forearm down. Hand to your thigh. Go up. Slow and control. Lift the hip. Keep the shoulder strong no matter what you do. This bottom strong. 4, you're not letting it just poke forward. You're keeping it down the back. 5, 6, you've got it. 7, hold it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, lower with care. Woo! Belly down. If you need a sip like me, grab it, but we're gonna do some amazing swans. So of course, I like it all, but the swan, the posture exercises I think are my favorite, because even as a little girl, I would see people bent over and I thought, I don't wanna be like that when I grow up. I wanna be tall and have good posture. And the fact that you can do something to influence your growth, I just love that fact more and more in life. So just notice, lift up and put your hands on the floor. So if you just notice how it feels to be an extension, generally it feels invigorating, generally it feels like confidence, feels like hope. So even the change of your physical posture will change your inner posture, your inner landscape. So hold here, let your elbows point down, let the breath go into your upper back, feel the change of energy, Exhale, lower your spine. Now rest yourself any way you want to. I like to just rest my head to the side. Lift up both legs. Now lower your legs and lift up your back without your hands, and then let your hands assist you. Breathing and exhale. Lift up your legs. Inhale. Lift up or lower them, and then lift up your upper body. So you can have an image of a rocking chair that you're just basically the bottom of a rocking chair. Good. I like how you're not hyperextending your neck. Where the skull meets the neck is a hypermobile joint, and sometimes it's easy to kind of toss your head back. But I really want your upper back to drive this, and your head just goes along for the ride. You're not driving this with your head. And good. Another image could be you're peeling a sticker off the floor. Lift up your thighs. You notice we do a lot with hamstring glute tightening, strengthening, because we want to have good backs. And then go up and hold. Now you're going to stay again, 8, 7, elbows point towards the floor. They're kind of wrapping in. 5, 4, 3. Good. Pull your head back a little, Sarah. I think, yeah. Now lower. Now interlace your fingers and interlace them at the low back. If that doesn't work, just put the hands beside your pelvis. Palms together is an even more progressive stretch. Lift up your upper body. Lift up your legs, lift up your hands. Breathing. So what we do when we work on posture is we open the front body and we strengthen the back body, which is exactly opposite of what most of our daily tasks are. So that's why it's so important. Lower down, switch which hands on the outside. So if your left pinky's on the outside, now your right one is. Palms together if you can. Lift up your upper body, lift up your thighs. Breathing. You notice you can get a bigger inhale when you're in extension. Inhales are energy. Increasing our capacity to get more energy during the day. So now this time, you're going to keep your feet down at first and let your hands go in front of you, and imagine you're going for a swim. I got to move so I don't hit my wall, and you're breaststroking. Now lift up your heart and swim and lift and swim. Lift. Lift. And your hands aren't helping you this time, so how is your thoracic extension without the hands helping? The first 30 degrees are really important for the upper back. That's the part most people get rounded forward if they don't intervene, but we're intervening, so we're good. And then take a child pose. Press your hips back. Rest. Now we're going to add a little tricep stretch here. It's really just a gentle one, but bend your elbows and pat yourself on the back. 5, 4, 3, 2. Now fingertips walk to one side. Keep going to the other side. Thank you. And walk to one side. Now when you do that, you're going to feel one, let me turn. You're going to feel one lat more than the other. Open up that rib cage. And then close your fingers and go to the other side. How long can you get the side of your body? Open up that rib cage. And then come back. And from here we're going to take a downward facing dog.
So if you need to not be on your hands that much or whatever reason, you can do a modification of cat-cow. But if you're
game, come up to a downward facing dog and bend one knee and bend the other. So you're going to notice that one calf gets the stretch and then the other. Let your left heel do more of a stretch. You can even pick up your right foot and push the left heel down. That foot comes down, put your other foot on top of that heel. And then your heels press. Now you're either going to stay here or do cat-cow on your shin, your knees and your hands, or you can do articulative down dog, up dog. So you're going to lift your heels. Now try to push your lower back towards the sky, then the middle back towards the sky, and you're shifting forward all the while, and then your upper back towards the sky. Then you're going to pass through up dog. Inhale.
And we do want to strengthen our hands like this because what if you do fall on your hands? You want those wrists to be strong. Tuck your chin, upper back, so we don't avoid them all together. Middle back, lower back, and heels.
Lift your heels. Articulate through your lower back, middle back, upper back.
Open up the chest. Really strong hands. You're standing on your hands. Good. Tuck the chin. Good, Karen.
Upper back, middle back, lower back. Imagine that wave or that snake or that rope that you've got one person on one end and one on the other, and you
Snap it up and down vertically.
upper back, middle back, lower back. One more time.
And tuck.
All right. Let your shins down. Take a child pose.
curl your toes under this one, that way you can stretch out your feet. They need attention too.
5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Belly down. Now this one is kind of like breaststroke in that you're swimming, but we're going to do the long arm, long leg swim. So at first, just lift up your right leg all by itself while your pelvis stays level on the floor, and then the other leg, and then one leg, and then the other leg. Now while you do this, imagine there's a piece of ice underneath your belly. Now we're going to add on a possible arms. So arms are wide and long. Lift up the right arm and left leg. Lift up the left arm and right leg. Right arm, left leg. Left arm, right leg. 10. Now if you want to make this harder, all the limbs come off the floor and you continue to add your swimming. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, recover. Now, see if you can bend one knee and hold onto your foot. And maybe bend the other knee and hold onto your foot. Good, Rick. Way to listen to your body. If you can, lift up. Neck is soft. This is called rocking in Pilates or bow pose in yoga. The modification would be just one foot, one hand, or interlace your fingers and lift up. We are going to do this twice. Lower yourself, so that way if you only had one foot, you can just grab the other one now. Otherwise, go up again, 2 feet. Neck soft, which means you might have to tuck your chin a little. Let your inhale naturally lift you up. And recover. All right. Grab a sip and be on your fanny. I'm going to move us just a little bit closer. We're going to do some stretching. You guys are doing great. I'm going to move us a little closer. Oh, caught my rug. All right. Now that we can see, to grab a sip and lie down, but take 20 seconds to lie down. So you're working your abs. Scoop out your belly. It's like a huge ice cream scoop went down your belly. Now, if your low back runs tight, the knee long one is going to be super hard and you'll feel like you're just a book. So you want to soften more. Scoop. Good, Cheryl. My 20 became like 30 seconds, didn't it? Now, full body stretch. Inhale. And take your right leg to the floor, so your foot's on the floor. Lift your hips and shimmy them over. Left hand on the right knee. Now right hand goes out to the side. Knee down twist. And gently come back to neutral. And let's go to the other side. Send one leg long and take the other knee over. Knee down twist. And then gently come back and take your right ankle to your left thigh. You're going to reach your hands through the window and just take a little hip stretch. And this is one where if you're feeling like you need a pillow, like let's say your hips are tight and it's hard for you to reach, just grab a pillow and put it underneath your head. No problem. All right. While you're here, you can add on the ankle rolls. We always want to take care of our feet and our hands. They do so much for us. And then you can also point and flex and point and flex. And then while you're here, spread your toes. So I'll take off my socks to show. I've got my correct toes on, but leaving those. Now I'll take them off and just spread your toes. You want to be able to create space between each of your toes. If it doesn't happen with your volition, you can open up your toes with your fingers. But you want flexible toes and arches. All right, let's take the other side. Reach your hands through. You can add a little roll with your ankle. And you can point and flex. You can spread those toes. Spread those toes. Spread those toes. Now, whenever you're ready, just let yourself come down to a Shavasana. Shavasana is corpse pose, which is a way to let the mind die, to release the mind. So I feel like one of our spiritual paths is to free ourselves from bondages. So some of those are self-imposed stories we have. So we're letting go of all of the bondages, all of the things that might tie us to a limited self. So just let the mind go on a shelf and let yourself experience that part of you that is beyond physical. take a moment to gently wake your fingers and your toes. And just take your time to slowly come up towards a seated position. You can leave your eyes closed. And we'll do just a little havening. So one hand can go over the other, and you're just going to stroke one hand over the other. There's some neat research on how this helps promote delta brainwave activity and helps calm, helps release trauma without all the talk therapy. So just self-soothing, basically. You always want to have a lot of self-soothing techniques at your fingertips. Let the fingertips go over the shoulder and stroke down to the elbow. And you can't do it wrong, you're doing it great. Just let yourself feel. If you have the urge to yawn, that's great. You can do that. You can bias the exhales. All those are additional ways to come into parasympathetic response, and you're just aware of those so that you know how to regulate anytime you need it. And then the fingertips can go over the eyebrows and then under the eyes and then around to the temples, to the jaw. Once they get to the center, you can lift, go over the eyes, under the eyes, and down the jaw. So just enjoy, just feel, just notice and watch. And you're going to gently let your hands come to your heart and cover the hands over the heart. So just this gesture alone is sort of like a signal to your body that you're going to take care of it, that you're nurturing it, that you're stopping the external variables and coming inside to that infinite wisdom. So we'll just take a moment to set an intention. I call this segment intending, where you sort of prepave your path for the next couple hours, kind of like tuning a radio to a station you want. You're tuning your own radio to the frequency that you want. And whatever comes to mind is just fine. I'm going to have what came to my mind, which is a high vibration, meaning that you're self-soothed, that you feel good, you look for the best feeling thought, you look for the appreciations, you feel for them, you hear for them. The birds were singing outside my door, and you're hyper aware of all the appreciations and for the best feeling thoughts. And as you get in that practice, more come to you, more in your environment, more are available to you. So just set that intention for the next couple hours, that you're setting a high vibration frequency. Just see how that goes for you. And with much care and appreciation. So it is. Whenever you're ready, let your eyes come back into the room. I'm so grateful to see each of you. Thank you so much. I hope to see you Friday. I made it around the planet one more time. So Monday's my birthday. I'm taking it off. And but I'll send you a reminder. Thank you guys. Bye. Have a great day. Bye.